Odd jobs and play with the Lovelocks in Sunninghill. I'll start with a standard introduction. Where we live at 22 Armitage Court in Sunninghill. Warning signs about fierce guard cats, where GPS was tested at this spot from the late 1980s. Lovely bit of garden sculpture that June gave Robin for his birthday present last year. And down the front drive, yes, a recent addition. It's almost done. The bicycle, a bit of work needed on the gears there, and these are the forts for the guard cats. Warning signs, little light that says Tody's in, and hello Tody, how are you? Having a bit of sleep, are you? Yes, thought you might be. Yes, armed mice. That fort is for Bentley opposite. So yes, a lot of this people would have seen before, but anyhow, let's just get on with it. Snoopy's robot boat survived 6 weeks at sea, and maybe there'll be time sometime to get it ready for this year's attempt. Here's the camper that was used to transport Snoopy's robot boat. Battle damage. June said Robin did it, Robin said the wall did it, but the wall is okay. And warning signs, yes, I now do the health and safety bit. So there's warning signs about hidden cameras everywhere, but make sure you read the small print about water squirters. There we go, health and safety done. Into the house, and Samantha's working from home here. This junk is even worse at the moment because of the practical things that work in progress, particularly Michelle doing work. As people will know from other videos, I'm hoping at some time the house will get back to the state it was many decades ago. Quick visit into the kitchen, and yes, work in progress. I'll get a quick glance at this, June. Yes, there. So this is one of the jobs in progress. Photo trails will show this. That's a cupboard that Michelle has put in, and she's putting PowerPoints there. Michelle is their youngest daughter, staying with us. Yes, loads of mess. Through. Now I say now that I'm going to go into this long photo trail which covers 5 days, but then I'll include a couple of clips that were done recently, and I've included in the. One of them is the situation with the DVLA, Driver Vehicle Licensing Agency. Due to mistakes, I still can't drive, and we just see what happens with time. Okay, but much more important thing is global warming and what James Lovelock said many years ago in his book Revenge of Gaia. So out into the garden that you'll see in photo trails. Lots of work needed. Yes, I'm on the lookout for handymen or ladies with lots of common sense. So into those photo trails, lasting I don't know how many minutes, but covering 5 days. So this is Wednesday the 19th of July 2023, and I decided to take a walk round to Victoria Road to check out Handyman, and that was near the Swinley pub. That was an interesting visit. Then made our way back through the amenity area owned by Armitage and Murray Residents Association, AMRA. Yeah, there's the bench put there in 2000. So a bit of relaxing there. Basically checking out that the place was still much the same as it has been. Back home, yes, usual warning signs and signs about GPS and all the rest of it. Yes, the birthday present from June. Back into the lounge, looking at the tracker. Yes, that's the route I'd walked, including along Victoria Road to the Swinley pub. Even though it was a brief talk, that's the tracker that was used, old one that we've been using for years. And of course, there's Lady, the Michelle's pussycat, and looks like we're having something to eat there. Now this could be the next day, not sure, but Michelle has decided to do a load of major work in the house, encouraged by June, and that includes rewiring the utility room power, but mostly importantly ripping out the cupboard that was there and replacing it by another cupboard. Yes, I decided to put that lovely video from the Tuesday, June's birthday, up. Yeah, what we're on now, that's the bicycle. Yes, I managed to actually ride the bicycle. There's not much needs to be done on it now. The gears, that's me on the closed circuit TV. Yeah, that's the spare Spot 2 tracker that we can take with us anywhere. And June wants to take a trip to IKEA, get a cupboard, but the car wouldn't start, so we had to get the jump starters out. And yes, what's that? So that's the spare Spot 2 tracker, and so then that's the route to IKEA. There's Bentley, the guard cat from opposite. June manages to get the car out and then knows there's a warning light on, so better check what that is. Yes, Bentley, keep an eye on things. Yes, immaculate garage. June looks in the handbook and it sounds though it's not too serious fault. Hello, Bentley. So it looks as though we can make the trip, although the tyres are a bit flat, so pump those up. Michelle's decided to appear, taking an interest in the pussycats, of course. So we're off on our trip with the spot tracker that anybody interested could see where we were, make a guess at where we're going. I got a call from Balbansel in the village, where we pop in later. So we've got to the car park of IKEA, and their system worked very well. So again, with the help of one or two guys we spoke to, they said, oh yeah, just go through the process and wait for your order to be brought out, and there it is on a trolley already. So we just had to wheel the trolley through back to the car park where we'd left the car, but it was a bit of a struggle getting it into the car, but we did eventually manage that. So then we're off, June driving of course, because Robin still hasn't been given permission to drive. So yeah, made a call to Samantha and Michelle, be ready for us when we get back to give a hand getting the stuff out of the car and to where it's going to go according to the work that Michelle's decided to do. Past a few important landmarks like the pubs, and yeah, the Spot is tracking us quite nicely. There it is on June's smartphone. Coming along, approaching Engle near Pond, approaching Ascot, and where are we? Oh yes, past the Royal Foresters, and that's how anybody can get to it. The button on the contact page. and into South Ascot, the Swindley pub that I walked to earlier, and yeah, back home. Now the challenge of getting it out, but let the women see if they can manage that between them. I can give them a hand if they need it. When I asked if they wanted any advice, they said no, so that's fine. Yeah, Samantha was just up there watching the TV. Eventually came down, including Michelle in her slippers, and they did manage to get it out. Yeah, I'll let them get on with it. So, checking what the tracker said. Yes, that's a route. How about that tracker? Not quite what I expected. That's why we get these things, to check them out. That's Michelle, which she's ripped out the cupboard that was there, doing a bit of plastering after rewiring the thing. And there's Lady, Michelle's pussycat, looking out. And now I'll enjoy myself having a snack and a glass of wine at La Sorrentina. Yes, hello Adriano. Cheesecake to finish off. And after La Sorrentina, I'll pop across the road to the Comrades Club and have another glass of wine. But then I hear that they're at the bandsaws, so we take the wine over in a plastic container and join the bandsaws for a little while with their dog Romeo. Hello Romeo. So leave them back home and I go off to sleep. I don't realise when I wake up what the time is. 11:45. Oh. Well, check one or two things before I turn in. Email from Steve about the bicycle. And that finishes it. Friday the 21st of July 2023. Photo trail as an aid to memory, shared with many others. Yes, so weather's not going to be too bad. Looks like June's saying bye bye to Tody when she goes off, and her not spot tracker, that was the old pocket power tracker carried on her handbag, and that means that get an idea when she's got somewhere and leaving somewhere, like the tennis court. Yes, that's the website. And off June goes in her car. Yeah, same photo, sorry about that. Here a lot, that's the birthday present. And what am I showing here? Yes, the forts, armed mice, bicycle, which is coming along nicely, and Samantha working from home, me having my 2 Weetabix for breakfast, and checking out things like, yes, the spot tracker says that June got to the tennis club, and that's, anybody can look at that off the Snoopy page. Looks like I'm finishing off processing of a video, this sort of thing. Oh yes, Gary has arrived with his young workmate, and they're doing work on the camper, and they found the fault in the cable that went with the Halford battery charger, which are very good, but oh yes, battle damage on the camper. I wouldn't want that to be removed. So what's happening? Michelle's cat Lady, and June is back from the tennis, and yes, looking at the bicycle. It needs work on the gear. Yeah, that bit's broken. Everything else is okay, it's quite rideable. And yeah, that's the tracker, spot satcoms, and yes, it's currently being put in June's car, just simply sat on the ledge there, and it works very well. And that's the one that's going into the robot boat. Yes, GP Motors, Gary Peter Motors. Phone call. Oh, that's from Bruce, he wasn't able to get round. And yes, one of the many jobs that Michelle has decided to dive into. Obviously lots of junk around, but she put in 2 power sockets. There's Bentley, the guard cap from opposite. Looks like pub lunch. Yes, round at the Duke of Edinburgh Woodside, with a familiar crew of grumpy old men. Excellent food and lovely pub atmosphere, and a means of checking that go-top tracker, which didn't work too well. That problem is being fixed that, looked at. Back home, and another job Michelle has started, which is a leak in below the wash basin. Yeah, checking the trackers. So that one, and there's a dialogue going on. Black spot there, I'm not sure what that is, probably just a mistake when I did the photo trail. But that tracker was working fine, which is the old pocket cam, and that looks as though going up to coffee. Yes, hello Tody. Looks like Samantha and June are off to tennis again. Michelle doing work on a cupboard that has been broken for years. Just haven't had the chance to look at it, or more importantly haven't found the right people to come and do it. I'd much rather pay somebody a sensible price to do work than try and do it all myself, which some of my friends enjoy. That's Lady. That's all the junk, which at some time, with help, might get put in the right places. Yes, Tody hanging out. He relaxes during the day quite a bit. Prowls around mostly at night. There's Michelle, and yes, lovely visit from neighbours. Oh, that was brilliant. What am I looking at there? Oh yes, I'd stumbled on the business website, Halal Sweets, just round the corner. Checking it, and that's June, as shown on the Spot T tracker, visiting daughter Saskia and fiance Gary's place. That was to do with upcoming wedding in August. Yes, Pussycats again, Tody, Lady. What's this? Oh yes, that's the morning that the spot tracker has moved, and sure enough, anybody who's interested could just go to the right place and see the progress. So that says that they'll be back very shortly, and there they are. I say they, just June. Lady still taking it easy. Tools. Michelle is working. And the tracker. That's the spot tracker. There's Michelle. Another job that's getting ready for a cupboard. Oh yes, last Sorrentina. I decided that evening, leave the women in the house and treat myself to another meal, a Sorrentina, and the lovely atmosphere there. And then after that, popped over to the Sunninghill Comrades Club, which was also lovely. And then back home. The 22nd of July 2023. This trail of 105 photos in 3.5 minutes is an aid to Robin's shared memory of what happened in the Lovelock household. Lots of things, including interesting email exchange with Dr. John Raffetto on the subject of Windsor care, and these photos are what Robin took because it looked as though rain was coming in, so he took some pictures of the pond expecting that the level would rise and you'd see the difference. Yes, rain radar showed it well. A lot of rain coming in, and we did get it, but on the top of the hill we didn't get as much. Yes, there's Alan of Go Top, and that was for Robin an important conversation, which is checking out the tracker and comparing it with the one that we've been using a lot of the time. Yeah, there's the rain forecasted, and of course the rain observed is a bit different. That's what you'd expect with a prediction. There's all the work Michelle doing with a bit of help from June, encouraged by June. So major exercise in the utility room, and they're at the stage of putting the new cupboard in that June and I brought back from IKEA the day before. So all the work being done by Michelle, helped by June, and yes, despite the kitchen being disrupted, we were able to find some food around, leftovers. That's coming along nicely, that work. Oh yes, Samantha in her room watching the TV, not helping downstairs at all. And what's happening there? Well, that cupboard's going into place. Robin's having his lunch as best he can, looking at things. Yeah, information from Alan in China. So a lot of stuff is being checked out in parallel. Alan thinking it might have been the SIM card, when in fact it had £30 of top up, but that was only relying on what it said, so you couldn't beat actually taking the SIM card out and putting it into another phone to check it. So reply to him saying, no, we still don't know why it's not updating position. And getting late in the evening now, having my cornetto while they're watching a film. I'm watching the closed circuit TV and enjoying watching the fox cub come to have the peanuts, and at the same time as the hedgehog and the little robin on the closed circuit TV as it starts to get light. Yes, the fox cub still making visits. So I'll leave them watching the film. There's Lady, the pussycat of Michelle's, and I go up, leaving them to watch the film. Sunday the 23rd of July 2023, photo trail of about 16 minutes of 476 photos. And looks like the first things was some updates to the Windsor Care page, which is the bright idea from Dr. John Raffetto. So did a bit of tweaking of that page, and it's okay. And yeah, it looks as though there was a processing of one of these videos from the day before. Michelle doing a bit of plumbing work at the moment, lots of jobs going on. Yes, here's June rustling up something for me, my favourite scrambled egg on toast with smoked salmon. So that must have been the middle of the day. That was Michelle's cat Lady. That's all the junk, which is getting more since there's jobs in progress and tools that are being used are left to hand rather than walking down to where it is in the garden sheds. Yes, glimpses of the boat. The tracker, that's the GoTop tracker that we've been checking out recently, and it's playing up at the moment that it was working better than any of our trackers. And the other tracker that I've been using for years and years, again a pendant pensioner tracker, that's all working fine. So it's always useful to have things to compare. So that looks as though I'm checking out woodpeckers, which is open for the National Garden Scheme in Janus. Yeah, small work. That's in the utility room. So one of the extra jobs that Michelle has started is the plumbing, various leaks and things. All comes in the category, yeah, she doesn't like being photographed. And yeah, that's some stuff about the garden. There we go, Janus. You having a cornetto? And that is the route down there. At least what I thought was the route down there, and then had to correct it because Google had found the wrong woodpeckers. That looks like a trip to, yes, Screwfix, which is to get some copper piping for one of the jobs that Michelle is going to do, or in the process of doing, which is different plumbing to plumb water to the fridge. Right, so that is the address. Did a check-up. Friends in Latvia from years ago. And but that's the correct woodpeckers, which is just the other side of Woking, so in Poplar Grove. So at least we know where we were going. And yes, that's the spot tracker that's going into Snoopy's boat, and we're checking it out by just keeping it in June's car. Looks like June's got Google Maps for some sat nav there, going through our village. Now going through Chobham, which is on the route. Coming out of Chobham. Now coming into Woking, through the middle of Woking, because where we were going is just a lovely area just to the south edge of the town. Oh, must be getting close now. Yeah, there's the signs. NGS, garden open for charity. So we then go where we pay to go into the garden. Lovely garden, and also a place where we can have coffee and cake and things, or tea. Yes, of course, June likes the plants. I don't mind taking a few photos of the plants, but what I find is interesting is the people you meet. Yes, lovely green tea that was. Coffee instead of tea for Robin. Yes, that tree, that was a silver birch. Pretty big. I didn't even recognise it, despite the silver birch that I've seen so many years, including next door. Yes, bit of garden sculpture. Now we decided to take a walk, or rather the women have decided to take a walk in the adjacent area. Lovely parkland, adventure playground for the kids, and a pond and boggy area that appears on the mapping. June was more interested in the Surrey Council having problems with their budget. Right, that's where we were. There's the pond. Yes, all sorts of ducks. Oh, a bicycle. Yes, looks a perfectly good bicycle to me. Easy to get out, but I think we'll leave that to whoever's lost it. Oh yes, we decided to check out the exercise area. Yes, some interesting graffiti. Bit naughty, but never mind. Oh, puddles. Yes, Robin likes puddles. So, making our way back Oh, wasp's nest. You ever notice it looks somebody stuck an onion in there? Not sure why. Drop of water. So, setting off home through Woking. Yes, oh yes, under a bridge that was dripping water. Yes, I love pubs as landmarks. Through Chobham now, I think. Yes, and across the motorway, getting close to Sunningdale. Roadworks, of course. Well, guys have got to earn a living, haven't they? So, where are we now? Oh, yes, turning into Armitage Court and home. There we go, get out of the car. Probably check out Tody the pussy cat, the guard cat. Yes, he's taking it easy, as always. Doesn't believe in working too hard. Bit like Robin. I'll get other people to do it. What's that? Oh yes, checking out the tracker. And then of course I'll be... Oh yes, that's the emailed movement alerts, which work very well and say that the car has started moving, or whatever the object is. So that is replaying what anybody could see. And now I'm looking at the other tracker, my pendant tracker that I've had for years. I call it the pocket cam because it's also got a camera. And so checking the route I was walking, of course, and that's good. And then what we got there, that's back home. Yeah, just here. Now checking out the GoTop tracker that was working very well. It's public on the contact page, and we've got some problems with it. I haven't diagnosed what the problems are, but we've got excellent support from Alan in Shenzhen, China, and it's his hoping, because I'm listening to the Radio 4 news, and yes, that had got knocked. Now how did that get knocked into the pond? June had fished it out. So look at that closed circuit TV. There is June using a fishing net to fish it out of the pond, and there the culprit was a little hedgehog. Now I'm checking through, I was checking through back earlier days and times until I actually found, yes, it was a hedgehog that had knocked it in. So the closed circuit TV had done its job. Right, little tour of the garden. Bumblebees. Yeah, Robin's old telescope, and haven't had a chance to do anything with that, and won't be for ages. Too many other jobs to do. Things are growing nicely in the garden, but of course need trimming back. Those are the easy jobs, or whatever we call it. It's handyman work, I think, rather than gardening. But the more significant work than, yes, that's junk down the garden, but very low priority compared with all the other work that is trying to get stuff out of the house where one can find it. That's Robin following Lady Michelle's pussycat around. Oh yes, there's one of the cat forts. Lovely flowers. There's Lady again. Hello, Lady. Bits of furniture. Furniture? No, not sure what you call those garden objects. Oh yes, that was a little creation of Robin several years ago. The idea of using mirrors around a chimney. Hello, Lady. The thermometer's working nicely. 20, that says. Oh, the grapes are coming along nicely as well. But it's many years since I tried making any wine. So, just see the state of all the junk in the house. Junk that is being used, unfortunately, and daren't move it, otherwise I wouldn't know where anything was. But that is where I really want handyman type work, or handy ladies, so we can start putting things back in the right place where anybody can find them. Memories of Sicily on that picture. Yeah, more work it has been made. She has made some progress. Yeah, little details there, but the cupboard is in, and that's showing, basically showing the state of the place. It's in order that people can case the joint, particularly odd job men or handymen that are stupid enough to do some work for me. That's the bicycle, and it's only the gear that needs a bit of attention. There's Tody, our guard cat, sleeping on duty in his fort. Oh, that's the aerial that I did a quick job of adjusting. Yeah, lots of lovely plants around it, and that at least means that we could get an ordinary TV signal in our lounge rather than relying on everything on the net. Yeah, there's the nitty-gritty of work that still hasn't been started. Oh yes, webcams. Yeah, lots of webcams. It could be looked at by anybody with the right information. Needs fixing. Some cameras work, some don't. Yes, there's lady. There's the signs, warning signs. Hello, lady. So, getting into the evening now, I guess. Robin having, oh yes, what's that? Yes, it was yeah, that's the TV in the lounge. June playing her games on there. Robin putting out the peanuts. Michelle and lady relaxing in the garden. Yes, that's something which is the light that comes on, but needs some work doing to just clear vegetation that's blocking it. Yes, that light shows that Tody's in his cat fort. There he is, taking it easy. Up to the dustbins. Yes. Load of rubbish. Peanuts out on the road, under cover of one of the cameras that needs a bit of attention. There's lady. Oh, having a banana now and watching a wildlife program. They're watching something else in the kitchen, but I think they come through. Yes. Oh, I took a walk down to the Comrades Club. Just for a bit of relaxation, a glass of wine, and chat to people and see what's going on. So that was the Comrades Club. Now making my way back. Yes, crescent moon. That picture wasn't too bad, but quite difficult with the camera I've got at the moment. Yeah, so they're watching. That was interesting. The Iron Lady, that film about Maggie Thatcher. Oh, a hedgehog visiting the peanuts. And that is probably the end. I should have warned you that they were long photo trails. So now back into the house and probably into those other clips that I warned you about. Now what I put on the screen, because global warming is rearing itself, it's something that's been on my grumpy page for years. The remarkable James Lovelock, who passed away on the 26th of July, his 103rd birthday. I'll read out what this says here. This has been on the grumpy page for years, not long after the publication of his book, Revenge of Gaia. We can't stop global warming, but we may delay it by a few decades. to give us time to prepare for its effects. Vast areas of the world, including as close as continental Europe, becoming arid desert. Shrinking of habitable areas of the planet to much smaller parts of the planet, closer to the poles. The Earth will then only be able to support a small fraction of its present population, and there will be a need for massive migration. Places like the UK will remain temperate a little longer, so be an attractive destination. We need all world governments to cooperate to prepare for this inevitability. Also to agree things like reduce use of fossil fuels to give us a few more decades to prepare. And then it goes on. The above is not a quote, but how I remember what James Lovelock said in his book, The Revenge of Gaia, etc. That's been unchanged on my site for years. And right, well, the other thing I should mention, yes, retired, happy and spending that kid's inheritance, is for some time now I've not been able to drive due to, well, several mistakes at the DVLA. And what I will say is that I have new evidence of what happened inside the DVLA, which I won't publish yet because I'm still waiting for the reply to the letter which was delivered by recorded delivery to the head of the DVLA and also other people. So I'll put in at the end of this long video the video that's gone up, me talking about the DVLA, and basically in summary it says I don't want anybody to get into trouble, and that is definitely the case, and resigning is too easy. Problems need to be fixed. But quite honestly, that is a minor thing compared with all the other things that are going on in the world, not least wars, and of course what's in the background and very important is global warming. So let's run into that. Back in 2012.
Seen the launch of a transatlantic sailing attempt this morning in a model boat. Retired NATO scientist Robin Lovelock launched his Snoop loop from Barton-on-Sea towards the Bahamas. It's already been tested over 5,000 miles on a lake in Berkshire. The model will be steered and tracked through a satellite system and by Snoopy, of course, and it should make the crossing in 6 months, if it survives, that is.
The most important thing of the lot, of course, is Snoopy the Viking, the skipper. I don't think he'd make it otherwise. We've also got another bit and piece here. This is a GPS logger that logs the position every 15 minutes. That was back in 2012. The guy that put this material together, including the live broadcast and what went up on the BBC website, is Ben Moore.
I just worry for Snoopy. Sport now and Hampshire.
Right, on to the next topic. Right. Now, I'm going to do this all in one take. All unrehearsed and unscripted, so sorry about that. What I'd like to happen, if anybody picks up on the DVLA story, is, as I say, nobody getting into trouble, and that's a genuine request. But when they find flaws in procedures where they don't cover certain things, be good if those are fixed. What I think would be useful for anybody looking at the DVLA and perhaps helping them is, first of all, their organisation chart showing the structure. Yes, it's well known who the head of the DVLA, remarkable woman, looking at her CV, and relevant to this story is the head of the health part. But it would be very useful to see, even if names aren't attached, obviously the names can be attached where they're public already, is how many people in each branch, how many people are reporting to how many. So a simple tree would help. I suggest that first of all. Then, perhaps even more important, is how many people working for the DVLA, even if you don't identify the individuals, are salaried by the DVLA excuse me, directly, as opposed to contracted through an agency or a business. That is very important, and we've seen what's been happening in places like the NHS for years. So that comes into the equation in terms of whether money is well spent. And of course the DVLA collects a lot of money. And there are probably other things as well. But as a starting point, I'd hope anybody that responds to this, I can't afford to get overloaded. We've got other things to do, many other things to do. And we'll be taking a holiday. That'll be public, yes. I'm tracked everywhere by different things. And in fact, if anybody's paranoid about it, anybody who's tracking somebody or looking at somebody's probably seen already. But at the end of the day, there's me whittering on, which is one of my main weaknesses since I was a little child. That's why if you put things up, clearly be careful what you put up, and often it can do some good. I'm now in the kitchen, and June's rustling up some food in a microwave for Samantha. The microwave was invented by James Lovelock, if you didn't know. And here's Samantha, and of course there's tennis on the television, just for a change. So, oh yes, point out, holidays in we're going off to Sicily again soon, and into the hall. Yes, nice expensive paintings here. Yep, expensive little pocket camera, not expensive. And through into the lounge and out to wrap up this video by saying, look after yourselves, stay safe, and enjoy what days we have.